Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us for our next session, the Imagine Cup Kickoff. My name's Anna. I'm an event planner at Reactor, joining you from Redmond, Washington. Before we start, I do have some quick housekeeping. Please take a moment to read our code of conduct. We seek to provide a respectful environment for both our audience and presenters. While we absolutely encourage engagement in the chat, we ask that you please be mindful of your commentary, remain professional and on topic. Keep an eye on that chat. We'll be dropping helpful links throughout. Our session is recorded. It will be available to view on demand right here on the Microsoft Reactor YouTube channel. With that, I'm pleased to bring you the Imagine Cup Kickoff.
I think it's the future.
It's a movement.
It's exciting.
Inventing smart solutions.
Automating complex processes.
Changing the world.
Life-changing.
Innovation.
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 Innovative.
Oh, that's a good one.
Building something new.
Creativity.
Creativity.
Trial and error.
I think explosion.
Putting me on the spot here.
Empowering.
Empowering.
Helping empower people.
Empowering and inspiring all.
Seeing the impact it has on real people.
Impact.
Seeing its social impact.
I love how you can make a positive impact.
Hi, everyone. I'm David Molina, and I could be a bot. Oh, wait. Do we check if I'm a bot? Okay, never mind. We're going to need to figure out that later because did you hear the news? Imagine Cup is back. Oh, yeah. Imagine Cup season 2025 is already open for registration. So you might ask, hey, David, that looks great, but where do I start? Well, we start today with this session, which is actually the first one from a bigger event we're having called the Student Innovation Series. So we're going to talk a lot about a bunch of stuff. We're going to explain you what you need to do, what you need to know. And also we're bringing you a lot of resources from different people, experts in the areas. And guess what? Today, we're having a panel with former Imagine Cup participants so they can tell us their secrets. Well, I don't know if the secrets, but at least, you know, how to navigate into the competition and a bunch of great tips. So let's start. I want to start by explaining you some of the stuff that we're doing different this year. So let's see if the slides want to move with me. All right, so we're going to talk, giving you a competition overview first. One of the exciting things that we're doing this year is that we have an optional stage, and we call it like the idea submission round. So the idea submission round is optional. You can decide to do it or not, but hear me out, because this is going to be a great opportunity for you to invest some time on ideation. And you're going to hear from our panel that that's one of the probably most difficult things to do when you are preparing yourself to submit an idea. So the idea submission round is going to give you the opportunity to spend some time, think about it. And if you submit an idea during this round, you will get feedback from our experts. So early feedback so you can feel confident that you're going in the right way. Because remember, when you move forward, we're expecting you to actually deliver the real thing, an MVP, a minimal viable product, something that you can demo, something that you can show us. What is your idea? What is your business plan? And how this could be the next big thing on the startups world. So after that, well, if you get selected, you will move into the semifinal rounds where things get real because you need to present live in front of judges. And if you make it by that time, well, guess what? You're coming to the World Championship round, which is going to be absolutely exciting. Now, a friend of mine asked, so what I'm getting to? Well, just a friendly reminder that the Imagine Cup prize includes $100,000 on cash. Someone says catching. And besides that, you're getting a one-on-one with the Microsoft CEO. Oh yeah, Satya Nadella will be coaching you into your great idea that is going to become probably the next unicorn for startups world. All right, so let's wrap it up on this. But friendly reminder, registration is already open. You can go to the link that we're showing right there, aka.ms, register Imagine Cup. Go now. Don't wait for this. And now we're going to cut to a small video. And after that, I will bring my friends from the semifinals to talk a little bit about Imagine Cup.
Definitely opportunity.
A learning opportunity.
I think it's a learning experience.
As innovation in its purest form.
Impactful.
Emotional. I always fight back tears every year.
Breaking boundaries.
Exciting.
Technology.
The best week of my job.
Breathtaking.
Inspiring.
Inspiring.
Imagine Cup is inspiring the world for change.
Be brave, be confident.
You made your vision into reality.
You've got this.
You got this.
And just be so proud of yourselves.
Good luck to everyone this year.
Good luck. All the best.
Best of luck to this year's competitors. You're all already winners in creating an amazing, inspiring product and bringing it to the Imagine Cup.
All right, folks, we're back. And this is the good thing. So let me introduce to our panel today. We have Mako Ohara. She actually participated in the 2024 Imagine Cup semifinals. Then we have Clay Battle, also participant of the 2024 Imagine Cup finalist. And then Alexa Vasilakos, 2024 semifinals as well. Hi, guys. How are you?
Good. How are you, David?
Awesome. I am super excited that you guys are here telling us your secrets, maybe, you know? What do you think about it? Or at least answer the most important question for today. Am I a bot? Oh, no, wait, that's not the question. But all right, let's jump into this. You guys are here. You already went through this. Super excited. What about if we start by you telling us where are you from, a brief description about your startup, and what inspired your startup? I think that's a good point where to start for everyone trying to figure out how do they join the competition. So let's go in the order of the slides. We're going to go with Mako first, Clay later, and then Alexa at the end. So go ahead, please.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Mako. I'm originally from Japan. I was a semi-finalist for the last year's Imagine Cup with a project with my co-founder. So our project was addressing digital divide in remote communities through AI edtech solutions. Yeah, so this idea was mostly based on my co-founder's personal background story of living in remote village in the Amazon jungle back for 10 years as he was growing up. And we started exploring solutions to address people in remote communities, and it grew into something bigger.
Awesome. That sounds super great. All right, now we go with the next one. Clay, please.
So, hello, everybody. My name's Clay. Senior in college right now. I was part of Team Plan Roadmap in the 2024 finals of the Imagine Cup. I'm personally from a small remote town in upstate New York called Bristol. Very rural. I lived on a dirt road, so definitely new to the whole tech world thing. The Imagine Cup was a huge step for me there. What Roadmap did, my team, we created an AI ADHD coach designed to help people start their tasks. So the basic idea there is people with ADHD have their own unique struggles that neurotypical individuals don't have. And we were inspired by real ADHD coaches, which we saw were wildly important in helping people who are struggling with ADHD, but are very expensive. So we thought, what if we could supplement coaching and make it cheaper for everybody? So a lot of that accessibility, bringing that to people that couldn't afford traditional coaching.
Awesome. And I love the fact that you mentioned something that's super important. Accessibility, it is one of the criteria for the competition. You will be able to read all those stuff in the official rules, but I love the fact that you bring it out, Clay. Also, Clay did a special cameo, thank you very much, into my LinkedIn. So if you want to figure out, go to my LinkedIn and you will see where Clay show up. All right, now we go with you, Alexa, please.
So hi, everyone. My name is Alexa Vasilakos. I'm from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and I'm a recent graduate of McGill University's software engineering program. So last year, I represented the McGill Biomechanics Club at the 2024 Imagine Cup semifinals with our startup, Park and Sync. And it's a B2B full stack application that was designed to help Parkinson's patients by providing clinicians and healthcare researchers with sort of a comprehensive overview of their patient's condition and leading to informed disease progression analysis, which then leads to improved research data and patient outcomes. And sort of the inspiration for this was that Parkinson's disease was a topic that hit home for many of our club members, including myself, having friends or relatives diagnosed with the disease. So our mission was to bring together our diverse backgrounds in biomedical, electrical, and mechanical engineering, as well as computer science to help others. And that's what inspired our startup.
Wow. Did you guys hear all these amazing ideas? It's like, take my money, guys. I'm ready to invest on you. Absolutely awesome. And this is just of the many ideas that came out from Imagine Cup. So guys, we're gonna not follow any order, just whatever you want to chime in. One of the things I want to touch deeply here is ideation, right? Because registration is already open. I'm sure everyone is jumping right now in the website, trying to fill up as much information as they can, but I don't know if I'm ready for an idea. So tell us more about how your team came up with this idea and how was like the brainstorming process to actually decide it, yes, this is what we want to pursue. So whoever wants to join first, please.
I'll take it first. So
go ahead, please.
I've been talking to a lot of people that are interested in getting into the startup world, and a lot of the things that I hear people say is, oh, I don't have any ideas, or I'm not sure how to come up with a good idea. And I think the most important point here is that the best ideas come from talking to many people. We came up with our idea talking to people with ADHD who are really struggling, professionals in the ADHD space, ADHD coaches. The best ideas come from having a really strong and intimate understanding of the problems at hand and the struggles of your customers. So if you really want to build something that makes an impact, you need to almost understand their problems better than they understand it. So our ideation process was really talk to people, come up with theories, build something that addresses that, and then kind of just cycle through that over and over until we developed out our product.
Awesome. That's quite interesting, like the process. Yeah. All right, who goes next?
I wanted to just add on to what Clay said. I think I totally second that because there isn't any like one size fit all like metric of how good an idea really is. It's really about you should go in more with a mindset that you would be fitting your solution as you discover more about the market. And it really is about how you will be flexible with your solution rather than what you start off with. So I think it's really important to go in with the assumption that your idea will change.
Wow, that's a strong statement. Your idea will change. You really have to believe that, right? I love it. Awesome. What about you, Alexa?
For sure, exactly what Mako and Clay said. And another really crucial part, depending on what your idea is really the research. The research is super duper important. And sort of what Clay was saying, having those representatives to contact to sort of help get a better understanding of your solution. And those findings, at least for us, became a really crucial part when we developed our MVP. And the ideation process is long. It's probably the longest part, but it was rewarding for us because in our case, we weren't just focusing on a software component. We were focusing on a biomedical and medical component. So, contacting those representatives, getting that research in, and then from there, figuring out, okay, how are we going to approach this? What are we going to do with this idea?
Yeah. And I just want to remind everyone, that's exactly why we're giving you the opportunity to actually have an early submission with the optional submission that you will get feedback earlier. And I'm sure, like Alexa was mentioning, part of this process of ideation requires like getting feedback, right? And kind of align to your goals and figure out where are you going with this. So friendly reminder, you could be submitting just the idea and you'll get feedback from our experts, which will be absolutely great for you to get something earlier. So fantastic. So moving forward, there's another topic I want to talk, which is, like pretty trending out there. Maybe you hear about it, something called, Clay is laughing, I hear you, AI, right? So every VC and every startup is trying to do the next unicorn, the next AI, right? All this stuff. And absolutely Microsoft provide, I will say, the top notch. So, but I want to understand you and your team, how do you figure out what Microsoft AI you really want to pick up, right? Once you decided the ideation stage, how do you decide where to look like with Azure AI and what things you want to implement? Please chime in.
I guess I'll
I'll
go
go
first again.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, you go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
All right, go ahead, Mako. You can go, please.
Okay, I'll take it this time. So I think for us, really, what was like the biggest benefits of using like Azure or Microsoft-based infrastructure was the complementary functionalities and set of modules that together Microsoft was able to offer, because looking into different databases and computing resources and different like cognitive accessibility that different modules provided made our solution like more comprehensive, and it was a lot easier to integrate different components into our solution because it was pretty much connected, right, fundamentally. Yeah, so I think that was one thing that was really strong. That's how we like ended up picking a lot of the Azure functionalities.
Awesome. I like that. The fact that actually, and your product has a hardware, right, involved. So it requires some reliability into like your hardware connecting to the cloud. And Azure AI was able to provide you that. So I love that. All right, back to you, Clay. Tell us more.
Sure, yeah. So for us, it was definitely, it definitely connects very strongly back to, you know, understanding your customers' needs. Because the whole Azure offers so many things. Azure offers so many different services that you can use, from cloud, AI, databases. It's honestly almost overwhelming, the amount of things there. So the way we really looked at that is, okay, what do we really need here? At our core, we needed an artificial intelligence to analyze our users' conversations to figure out, okay, what help do they need from this? We needed a way to store this information and stuff like that. So really looking from the beginning, starting again, problem first, how do we then solve this? So then we looked at all the Azure cloud products, picked out the ones that best fit our needs, and use them. And then also, I'm going to plug mentorship here. Talking to people at Microsoft is super helpful in differentiating what's out there and what's best for your use case.
He talked to me. No, I don't know. Anyway, no, that's great. Absolutely. And you know, from LLMs to NLPs to SLMs, I don't even know what I'm talking about. You're right. It can be a lot of stuff. And it's important, again, remind to everyone, like even with your early submission, even when it's just an idea, you know, we could be able to provide you like some guidelines, and there's going to be a lot of content. We're going to talk later. We got some super experts to talk about like all the new AI things Microsoft is doing, but definitely it is important that you make the right call. What about you, Alexa, please?
Basically, to add on to what Clay is saying, there are so many different resources in the Azure Hub, and think about how you can also use AI to sort of enhance your solution. So it doesn't necessarily have to, well, obviously we'll target the main part of it, but also enhance it somehow, like improving accessibility. I know that was a key word mentioned before. So we sort of looked into, at least in our case, looked into Azure's cognitive services for language translation if we wanted to make this global, right? So finding ways to also have it sort of enhance your solution that's already there can be super helpful as well.
Awesome. No, that's absolutely great. And once again, please stick with us during the end of the session because we are actually giving you more resources. And again, experts going to explain you the new things. And trust me, there's new things that are just blowing mind. But I'm loving this conversation, guys. I mean, you're so smart, to be very honest with you. Super excited to having you talking to us today. I have one more question. I want to move away from the tech part. And I want to talk about one of the things that is more challenging when we are on the Imagine Cup, and is the pitch. Right? The famous elevator pitch. Like you need to actually reach to the judges and your audience and your customers and everyone who wants to invest in you in a very short time. So I would like to hear more about like what are the tips, hints, you know, even mistakes that maybe you made that you later correct to actually be on point with the presentation. And just a friendly reminder to everyone, you are actually pitching your idea and then you need to demo your MVP live. So what kind of tips you folks will have and give to our audience today about like how to do this in the best way possible?
I can sort of answer that first.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, the pitch is probably the toughest part. You're going to go through a lot of refinements, a lot of changes. But just be patient because in the end it comes together and it's all worth it. But in terms of the tips that I could give. You basically want to address the who, the what, the where, the why, and the how as succinctly as possible. So who are you helping? What's your mission? Where do you see the startup going in the future? Why are you doing this? And most importantly, how are you making a difference globally? So making those intentions and those goals super clear is the key to having a really, really solid demo and pitch.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that's a good advice that we're giving. Like, people might get a little bit anxious, like, oh, this is not really sticking around. Yeah. So what about you, Mako?
Yeah, one thing that our team kept going back to was the idea of a story, right? Because the idea of a pitch really is to condense like a lot of information as fluidly as possible to the audience. So having a story of this is where we started, this is why we're doing, how, yeah, like it was mentioned. But by putting it into story, we're able to emotionally engage the audience, and we're able to like know deeper when to say what to produce the most optimal use of the time that's limited during the pitch, right? Yeah, so I think really iterating on your story and making sure that it's consistent throughout the pitch would be an important thing to start thinking about.
Right. So Clay, I have a curveball for you, Paul. I'm sorry, but one of the first demos that I actually was able to see and was like from Clay's team. And I remember that was like, wow, they successfully differentiated from competitors, because guess what? Their product actually have other competitors. And I did some research, and I was not convinced that you're gonna really sell me out. And then you guys did this fabulous demo within the pitch, right? So I specifically want you to talk about that. Like, how do you balance like your pitching and trying to do a demo that actually connects with your pitch?
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say that definitely a bit of a curveball, but I'm happy to talk about it because I think the demo was really one of our hugest strengths in the entire competition. So for those that don't know, in our demo, a huge concern with a lot of these emerging AI products is, how is this different from ChatGPT? It's a ChatGPT wrapper. That's a major criticism of a lot of AI companies these days. And so we said, you know what, we're going to confront this face to face. We had ChatGPT here, our product right here, and we highlighted as glaringly as we could why we were so much better than ChatGPT. So I think the real thing here is writing, again, that strong story and narrative that's been talked about before. And then when you're actually connecting that to your demo, really hitting home, why are you unique? How is this really connecting to your value proposition? So your demo is kind of the key of everything. It's how you really sell your point, how you sell your product, how you really communicate your value proposition, show it in action. So hopefully that answers your question, David.
I'm sure you are, because I remember telling you like, oh, this is going to be like a ChatGPT thing. And then you guys blow my mind. And I love that moment. Actually, it was great. Absolutely. All right. So folks, this is, I think, very, very useful. I think your journey is, I love it. I mean, all the things that you guys went through, all the things that you learned. I think it's all what you're sharing here is absolutely valuable. But before we leave for the next thing, are you going to reveal any secret? Come on, just a little secret. Any secret, any recommendation, any tip, pro tip that you will actually give to everyone here that is watching us today? Alexa?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just gotta go my window. So Alexa, what are your secrets? Tell me all.
Oh, I don't really know.
Oh no! Oh, wow.
I don't know if there's sort of like a secret. It's just sort of be confident in yourself, be confident in your abilities. This, at the end of the day, it was mentioned earlier, this is a learning experience. You learn so much from this. And I know for me personally, I didn't have much experience, at least on the business side of things, more on the software side of things. So I didn't really know what went into a successful business pitch or, the steps to building a startup. But through this experience, I learned so much. And I want to give a huge shout out to the Microsoft mentors at the semifinals. They were incredible and sort of, just streamlining our presentation and, making our final product the best it could possibly be. And so I guess my secret is to just be confident, try your best, and it'll all go okay.
Awesome. All right, Clay, back to you.
So I've got a bit of a secret. I actually thought about this one. It's a bit of a secret hiding in plain sight, though.
This is an exclusive. All right, this is an exclusive. I
all
need
right,
to
yeah.
follow him. There's gonna be a secret reveal.
Take
Go ahead.
note. Which is that a lot of hype is around the tech. And as technical people, which I imagine a lot of people watching this or interested in this competition are, I believe 50% of the judging criteria is business viability. And the teams that make it far have very strong business viability. They've done their research. They've talked to customers. They've talked to professionals. So at the end of the day, remember that the business aspect is equally as important as the technical aspect. So really reading into that and doing the work there beyond just having a cool product, because who cares if you have a cool product if there's no business need for it? At the end of the day, it's an entrepreneurship competition. So really think about that when you're designing an idea and pitching it.
Love it. Love it. All right, Mako, back to you.
Yeah. I think one final thought to maybe end with, I guess, is to kind of remember about the people that you do the work on the project with. You'll be spending a lot of time together, and really like think from the beginning of the distribution of who would be doing what in different processes. So for my team, my co-founder was more towards the technical person and I was more towards the business. And because we have two different perspectives and are able to brainstorm with the different lenses, I think the final solution became more compatible and smooth from the two different aspects. So kind of thinking about, I think who you work with also matters as much as, well, it does have a significant value in the choice.
Absolutely. No, that's absolutely great. Thank you, guys. I want to remind everyone, if you want to take my personal takeaway from this conversation with these folks, is that the business part needs to be strong. And that's probably one of the most difficult parts, as all of them mentioned it. So, but guess what? Your friend David, I got you covered. Because next, we're going to explain the Lean Canvas. This is the tool that we are recommending you, encourage you to use to actually start your ideation part. So that's next after a video we're going to cut with more inspiration. But again, Mako, Alexa, Clay, love it, guys. Thank you very much for being here with us. And thank you. So we're not going to cut with the video. Thank you, everyone.
My name is Charu Thomas. I'm the CEO of OX, which was formerly known as OCULOGY, and we were second place winners at the Microsoft Imagine Cup 2017.
Team OCULOGY, before we come and see your presentation, we're going to learn a little bit more about your project now.
At OX, what we do is we build fulfillment automation tools for frontline operators to excite, engage, and empower the workforce in stores and warehouses to do more in less time. So we help enterprise and mid-market retail and 3PLs be more effective and efficient. And in fact, our technology is deployed in facilities that do over $600 million in cumulative order volume annually. It's been an incredible journey. We've raised over $3.5 million in venture funding and scaled to a team of 24 full-time employees. The Microsoft Imagine Cup was such a great jumping off point. The whole dream was to be able to get our technology in real people's hands and to help real people do their jobs better. And so it's pretty mind-boggling, honestly, to kind of think of all the things that are supported by the technology that we've built. It's been amazing.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nikki Freeman from the Office of the CTO. I coach our internal incubation teams, and one of the exercises that I like to take them through is the Lean Canvas framework. Today, I'm going to be walking you through an overview of that as well as you prepare for that in your idea submission stage. We can go to the next slide and we'll take an overview look. So the Lean Canvas was adapted by Ash Mariah from the very popular business model canvas, which was created by Alexander Osterwald. They both use the same 9 blocks concept. So what I really like about the Lean Canvas is that I think it's a great communication tool. You do it very quickly. It's a great way to get everything that's in your head all down on one page in an organized fashion. And then you're able to share that information easily with your partners, advisors, investors. I also think that it's really great at giving you a holistic view of your business. It helps you connect all the moving pieces together. And a lot of times I'll be working with incubation teams that are really run by brilliant engineers that are very focused on driving technical breakthroughs. And doing this exercise helps broaden their point of view from that narrow focus to then thinking about how do I create an end-to-end viable business. And the third thing I really like about the Lean Canvas is that it's great at helping you identify gaps in your logic or assumptions that you're making about either your problem or your customers. So it's a great way to see where you're making assumptions and then go and verify those with your product testing. So how to think about approaching the Lean Canvas model. I like to spend just 15-20 minutes brainstorming and just getting everything that's top of mind for you out on the canvas. And that's only 2 minutes per box. So that it actually goes by really quickly. And then take a step back and refine your Lean Canvas, look at what you wrote down, share it with your co-founders, and walk through where are the boxes connected together? Where have I missed something that I need to add to it? So brain dump, refine it, and then share it with others to help. I find that when I walk someone through my Lean Canvas, it's like a mirror. It's holding up where I think there's gaps in my logic. And I will, as I walk you through this, I'll highlight some examples of how to do that analysis for yourself. But sharing that with others is a great way to start to think in that manner. And then iterate on it. After you get your initial round of feedback, go back and iterate and refine your canvas even more. And by that point, you should have a pretty streamlined view of your business and have a good point of view of what you want to measure as you go into the next stage. I like to redo the canvas at several points during the product development cycle. So for example, if you're doing it now at the ideation stage where you haven't built your product yet, you just have an idea, you get down your canvas, and then do it again after you've built your MVP. After you've done your MVP, you've now worked with 1 or 2 customers. You've actually been narrowly focused on building that feature. Doing the canvas is another great way to broaden your viewpoint and think about, okay, what did we learn from doing the MVP? What information have we gathered? And doing this quick 20-minute exercise again, then you're able to review, okay, when I look at my original Lean Canvas and the one that I've done after my MVP, I realized maybe the customer channels that I thought I was going to have, the customers that I've talked to and worked with, they actually want a different channel. They want their product to surface in a different way. Or this is what I thought about my solution before I actually built my MVP. This is what I've learned, and this is how it's changed. So I definitely recommend taking those snapshots in time of your product and your business by doing the canvas several different times throughout your product development cycle. So now we can dive into the specifics on each box of the canvas. I'll give you a walkthrough and then try and connect the dots and show you how to think in between the different boxes and connect them together. So the first one that's most important to do is the problem, starting with the upper left-hand side, thinking deeply about like, what is the problem that you're trying to solve? You don't want to build just tech for tech's sake. You want to be addressing an issue that matters to your customer segment. What are the 3 priority problems that your customers are facing? How are they addressing those issues today? So making sure that you evaluate the existing alternatives, what's in the competing market, and how much time and money are your customers spending to address the problem. One thing to think about as you're looking at your problem, where do you think it ranks in priority for your customers in terms of an incubation studio? We like to coach our teams to look at wrap problems. So if you dent your car, for example, you're gonna get it fixed eventually, but it's just a car dent. You can still drive around. You're not gonna get it fixed tomorrow. But if you find a rat in your house today, you're gonna call someone, you're gonna get that fixed right away. And you're going to, if you were looking at your problem and analyzing it and thinking about how this actually impacts customers, if it's a high priority problem for them, you're going to have a faster time to adoption. and potentially a higher willingness to pay. And then looking directly from the problem on their left-hand side to the customer segmentation on the right-hand side. So writing out what do you think your customers are and their characteristics, and grouping them into segments. So what industries are they in? Where are they located geographically? Break out your customers potentially by age or gender or size. Like maybe you're doing a B2B, like a business to business startup idea, and you are focused on large enterprise companies. Or maybe you're solving a problem that only small and medium-sized businesses have. So making sure that you organize your customer segmentation and you understand what their needs are and how they are affected by the problem that you outlined. And then take a look at that list and figure out, who are my early adopters? What's the customer segmentation that I want to go after first and try and test this product with first? Looking after you've analyzed your customers, the next step is to go to the heart of the canvas. What is your unique value proposition? So this box is all about what's your product differentiation. Why would the customers that you've just outlined solve their problem with you versus one of the competitors you've already outlined? So understanding what is my product's differentiation is the important piece of the unique value proposition. And then moving from the unique value proposition to the left hand, to the right to the left, is outlining your solution. So you've gone through your problem. How are you building features that address that problem? And the best way to fill out this box is to talk to your customers. One of the panelists did a great job calling that out as well. Get out in the real world, talk to customers, ask them how they would solve the problem. Ask them what features matter to them. It's really important to make sure that you get a diverse set of customers that you're interviewing as well. And then after you've done your solution box, take a look at the channels. So the channel is, how are you going to reach the customers? That can be, how do you reach them for acquisition, whether it's via email or social or webinars or investor introductions. How are you going to get connected to your customers for the sales process? Then how are you going to deliver your product to them? Where does the distribution of your product lie? Where do you need your product to surface for them? And then what channel do they need to be supported? Are they, for example, are they a very tech savvy customer segment that you've outlined? So maybe they can do a self-service portal. Or are you doing a product that focuses on a legacy industry that doesn't have a lot of tech literacy? They might want a human customer service element to that. So understanding your channels and how they relate to the customer segments box. Another way to think about that as well is, if you think about your customer segments and where there could be a gap in between your channels. For example, if you've decided, I'm going to go after young people aged 15 to 24 as the early adopters of my product, but then you don't have a mobile option listed in your channels, you've got a gap there. Think about how you might need to adapt your approach in your business model. And then looking from the channel to the revenue stream. So this box, make sure to connect your revenue streams to that unique value proposition that you've already outlined. How are you going to monetize that unique value proposition that you've come up with? So what are your primary sources of revenue? How is that revenue direct or indirect? What is your timeline for revenue? And then making sure to think about how that revenue model connects to your customer segment, for example. So if your revenue model that you've decided to experiment with is subscription model, but your customer segments that you've outlined are mainly licensing businesses, you've made the assumption that your customers are going to adopt a new way of transacting to use your product. So that's not a bad assumption, but it's something that you need to identify and then test. So as you're talking to your potential customers, and doing user interviews to understand the solution that you want to build, make sure to add some questions in there about, okay, would you be willing to switch your transaction model from licensing to subscription? So that's an example of how the canvas can help you identify different elements of your business and put them together into creating a cohesive strategy to approaching the market. And then directly across from the revenue streams is your cost structure. So understanding how much it's going to cost to maintain those channels that you've got with your customers, in terms of customer acquisition, How much is the customer support going to cost? What's the investment that you need to build your solution and do that product development and your COGS? So making sure that you understand that unique proposition that you've outlined, and then what are the costs that you need to maintain that unique proposition. And once you've got those two boxes, your cost structure and your revenue streams, and especially understanding your timeline to revenue, you can start to calculate your break even. And then looking at your key metrics box. So this is where you want to put your performance metrics, but even more than importantly than what your target result, what your results are, or what are the targets that you set for your metrics. So when you set a target, that helps you go through an entire exercise of understanding the different failure points potentially for your business. And so then when you've got your key results, you don't just have that data point of, let's say, for example, you're trying to measure MAU, monthly active users. You don't just have, this was my MAU for this initial private preview. You have, this is my MAU. This is what we thought the MAU could be with our target, and this is why it's different. So you're getting so much more information when you set your target metrics in advance. And then finally, what's your unfair advantage? So you've outlined what your differentiation is with your unique value proposition. How do you make that differentiation durable? What is your competitive moat? So I push a lot of our incubation teams on this quite often. I make sure that they understand, if we build this, how can our large competitors also build something similar? Or how could a small, nimble startup build something similar faster than us? What makes us doing this product unique? What makes your product unique to solving that problem that you've identified? So this is how I like to take a holistic look at the business and connect the dots and really take a step back to see, is this a viable business? I know that I can build it from a technical perspective, it's feasible, but is it viable? Do I have a problem that people want to solve? Do I have customers that want to purchase from me to generate revenue streams? So this is an example of how to think about the lean canvas and connect all the different dots together. Good luck and congratulations on joining Imagine Cup. Thank you.
So, g'day, I am Baden Parr from PROTAG.
Tyrell from Team PROTAG. We competed in the Imagine Cup last year.
Let's learn a little bit more with Team PROTAG.
PROTAG is a smart sort of Fitbit sensor for cattle, and we're looking to be the most advanced cattle tracking AirTag in the world.
We had an amazing experience at the Imagine Cup. We got a lot out of it in terms of mentorship that made us really look at our product and pull it apart and put it back together into a way that eventually, turned into a business.
After the Imagine Cup, the publicity in New Zealand, sprungboard us. We've got people working on PROTAG now from all around the world, and it's kind of skyrocketed from an idea that we were working on.
We ended up deploying around 50 tags to a trial farm. We've basically taken that and we've pulled it apart, and we've been redesigning it over the last few months. We'll be sending off that design and getting it built, and then we can put those prototypes to use and then really start to refine things.
It feels pretty amazing to tackle a problem that does make a difference to farmers firstly, and then the world as a whole.
I love how you can make a positive impact on the creativity and the skills that you have and see that come to fruition in the world.
Awesome video from PROTAG there. I've actually had a chance to talk to some of the guys from the team in previous years about the awesome startup that's come out of it. And that's a great lead into what I'm talking about today, which is Microsoft for Startups Founders Hub. I'm Renee Noble, a senior cloud advocate, joining you from Australia. So that was a nice video from our New Zealand neighbors over there. And yeah, a little bit about Founders Hub is, well, look at you now. You're starting on what you might have just think of as a little project. You've signed up to a cool competition, but really this could be the start of your startup journey. And that's what Founders Hub is here for. So I'm going to tell you about a few of the cool things that you're going to get access to as part of being in Imagine Cup and coming into Founders Hub, because there's a lot of cool stuff that is sitting in Founders Hub that's out there for startups, not just uni students, not just Imagine Cup people, but everyone who is joining Founders Hub as part of Microsoft for Startups. So I'm going to take you through some of that now. So Founders Hub is what we call a platform that grows with you, which is really great because you're coming in, you're at the start of your journey, and you might not know exactly what you're doing yet. So we're going to get you started with you're going to probably come in at level 1 or level 2, and you can progress through those levels as you build your product, build your idea. And you're going to start with some Azure credits. And then the more credits you spend, the more credits we want to give you, which is really exciting. It's not like, oh, I'm going to run out of credits. I got to, keep these, safe, use them scarcely. No, if you use some, you can get more, which is really exciting. You'll also get access to all the latest generative AI models. So you can build really cool AI projects, and also access to, classic Azure stuff for hosting and deploying your solutions to your problems out into the world. And then also part of the Founders Hub is you get access to inspirational, really cool people who are part of our community. So I'll talk a little bit about those all in more detail in a second. But here are a couple of the things that are like highlights, I think, of part of our Founders Hub, is that you have access to our top quality machine learning and AI resources, as well as responsible AI tools, because whenever you are building with AI, you need to be responsible, because we are looking to solve problems, not create new problems. So always keep that in mind. And you'll be using this as part of Azure AI Studio. So whether you're a pro already in AI tech or you're just getting started, we're going to have some great tools for you to use, whether it's templates or whether you need a little hand to get over a little hurdle you've encountered, or you need, some credits to help you deploying more great Azure and AI solutions out into the world. So just to highlight a few of the things, in terms of the AI realm that you'll be getting access to. The great thing about Azure is it's not just a single, Azure OpenAI service. You get access to a bunch of different models. So you might be like, oh, I really like this model from Meta or Hugging Face. And they're all things that you can access through Azure OpenAI and through the Azure service, as well as through the Azure SDK software developer kits that you can use. And yeah, it's going to be super fun and pretty easy to get started with, compared to when I remember back to when I got started with AI and machine learning about 10 years ago. There weren't all these cool tools that already existed that you could kind of just be like, I will use that one, and then hook into an API and get the benefits of that. You had to do it from scratch. So this is a really great time to be getting into the AI space and leveraging all these different tools which are here, and you're going to have some cool credits to get to use them, which is fantastic. So another thing we've got on hand is, as I was mentioning, you might not have done much AI stuff before, and you're like, where do I even start? And I'll take you through this in a moment when we get to the actual interface. I'll show you the site where you can use Founders Hub, but we have templates that have easy ways for you to get started by just selecting the template that works best for you. And then you can add your own data to that, and it won't be going into our databases or anybody else's model databases, etc. It's just for you and your project there. So we've got our Azure credits, we've got our access to AI, we've also got access to a bunch of other cool stuff that helps you grow your business, grow your idea, work as a team. So we've got the things like Microsoft 365, got Power Platform, whether you want to do some cool Power App creation, some automation that's going to make your life easier. There's a lot of cool stuff going on there, as well as Power BI if you want to do some awesome analytics on whatever you're building. And Dynamics 365 is a great way to talk to your customers, engage with the rest of the world to help them get involved in what you are trying to put out into the world. So we've got our tools, and we've also got our community. So as part of startups, Microsoft for Startups, we have a bunch of relationships with investors and incubators and accelerators that can help take your project to the next level. So as you look to grow your project, keep that in mind in the back of your head. So you can see, like, I've got this idea here and I want to get it to the next level. I need some investment. I need some help. And then we've got the tools and the connections to help you get there. And another fantastic thing that I alluded to a little bit before, we do have some helping hands to help you get over any hurdles. It's great to be part of this Microsoft community through Microsoft for Startups, because we do have an experts network, which will enable you, once you get to a particular level, once you've got to level 2, you'll get access to this expert network where you can get connected with an Azure engineer, or where you can connect with other people who have signed up as experts in our community. There might be people like myself and other people who you've seen today on this live stream who are saying, I have expertise in this technology, and you can come to me for support, and I can help you get your head straight about like how you should connect that to your idea, and getting that personalized help that might make your idea, take it to the next level, so solve the problem that you're struggling with as well. So our expert networks panel is going to look a little bit like this. I'm going to show you that in the platform in a minute. We also have opportunities to pair directly with Azure engineers as well through our one-on-one mentorship with experts. So you're probably here at the idea stage. You might be at an MVP. Maybe you've got a little thing in your back pocket that you want to pull out. And then as you progress through these different stages, you want to get to a product market fit as you build and get that solution out into the world. And as you go through these stages, you'll be eligible for more credits, more levels in the Microsoft Startups Founders Hub, and that will get you more credits, more access to more help, etc. So that's super exciting. So to be eligible for this, I'm not worried about you all being eligible because you're joining here at Imagine Cup. There's only a few little things that you haven't already received more than $10,000 in Azure credits, unless you've been already working on this in Imagine Cup in previous years and already smashing it out of the park. I've got a bunch of credits. I'm not worried about you getting involved in this program at all. And hopefully it's going to be really great for you. There's just, a couple of rules about you're not a government entity, which I think you're probably not, and you're not doing Bitcoin or crypto mining. So that is what we are here for. And I'm excited that you're all going to get to be part of this and get to leverage this starting from now as you go forward through your journey. So let's take a look at what we are dealing with when we're working with Microsoft Startups Founders Hub. So here we are on our first page of my beautiful demo account. This is a level 2 account, but level 1 will have most of this stuff available. I'll point out the stuff that you'll soon get access to as part of when you get up to level 2, and it'll be great. So we can see here, I came on this level 2 account, I had $5,000 of credit. I've already used 3,000. You can see how much you have used here, which is really handy to be like, oh, I know I'm going to run out of credits. But don't worry, there's ways for you to find out how to unlock more credits. You can just click this button, whatever level you are on, to see how you can get more and keep on building with your project. So I can see I've already ticked all of these boxes because I've used 50% of my credits, and Founders Hub is just dying to give me some more credits. So I need to submit this request, and I could possibly get more credits and potentially move up to the next level depending on those requirements. So there are different requirements about how progressed and mature your idea is between moving to the different levels. But if you have used some of your credits already, you might be eligible for some more right there. You can also get some help with a lovely startups founders co-pilot, which we can access through here. So we can click in here. I've already asked a question on how to help me redeem my Azure credits, and it can help me get started with some of that information there. You could also ask a question about how do I get more credits, because we love credits because they're fun. Everyone likes a free thing that's also going to help you make a cool thing, and maybe it'll help you win a competition. What's not to love there? So we've got all of that going on for our main page there. But we also have a bunch of other different benefits that I have mentioned when I went through the slides. So let's take a quick look at some benefits, and there are a lot of them here. So for instance, maybe you want access to GitHub Enterprise. You'll have access to more advanced tools that you might have as part of a company rather than on your personal GitHub account. Also things like LinkedIn Premium for getting your business ideas out there. Maybe Miro, you might be a big fan of their whiteboarding software that you get access to through this, or We've got Power BI for some cool analytics. So many different things, and then different things coming in through different levels. Stripe payments might be a really great one for setting up some way for you to make money through your creation. So many benefits going on there. I love those. In addition to the credits, like, you're going to give me free credits and free access to all these other things, or through like partnerships that allow it to make it cheaper. Lots of different deals going on there. So definitely take a look at those, because you'll get access to like M365, which if you're like, oh, I just need a way to have like Teams meetings with the rest of my team, that's a great way to get access to things like that. Cool. I mentioned we have some guidance earlier through our experts network here. I can see I've been recommended a couple of experts for my demo project account that I have here. I can click on them. I can see their level of their different expertise areas. I can send a request to them to ask for some help about a specific topic. So once you've got to level 2, you'll be able to do something like that. And then we'll go to build with AI. So I was saying there's some templates and things to help you get started, which is sitting right here in Build with AI. So you can see a couple of different templates here about launch a ChatGPT app. And I can see here it's using Python, it's using Azure OpenAI. It's got all the different tools listed there, like container services and Azure Search. So we can see things that will fit our needs, and we can grab that and be like, okay, cool, I'm just going to get started with that. If I click on one, it will show me the different components that are going into building that. I'm like, okay, yeah, cool. That sounds like it's going to fit what I need to do. And it's so much better than reinventing the wheel. If you're like, oh, I've already built one of these before, I'm just going to grab one of the templates because I know how it works. I know what I need. I'm going to get that. I can open it in a GitHub code space or go to the repo and make a clone of it myself. So that's a really great way to get started, whether you are doing this for the first time or you're like, no, you know what? I've done that before. I don't need to build it myself. It's great for everybody. So that's some fantastic stuff there. You can also explore different AZD templates as well by jumping onto Awesome AZD or following this link and exploring generative AI models through the AI Studio. So lots of great links sitting in there, as well as if you want to learn more about those different things, you can go over to the Discover tab where you can get some help to learn about different things. These will take you to different modules on Microsoft Learn, which are like, okay, cool. I really need to get started with Azure Static Web Apps because I have a static website I want to deploy. I can go and learn about that, and that'll help tie your project together with the many different bits and pieces of Azure technology and Azure AI tech that you have access to here. So that's a little bit about what you have access to as part of Founders Hub. If you're like, how do I get to know more about that? Or how do I get to Founders Hub? You can go to the Imagine Cup page right here and just scroll down a little bit and you can see Start Building with Microsoft for Startups Founders Hub and sign up with LinkedIn. Super easy to sign up. I actually have a personal business on the side that I've signed up for Microsoft Founders Hub, it was so easy to do. And my lovely partner, who's the CTO of a company, just last week has signed up his company to Microsoft for Founders Hub as well. It only takes a couple of minutes to get signed up, so it's super easy to do. So highly recommend jumping on that link to sign up with LinkedIn. So with that, back to the rest of the team.
My name is Humayal Chowdhury. I'm the founder of SMARTARM, formerly Team SMARTARM from Imagine Cup as the reigning world champions in 2018. At SMARTARM, we're developing AI-powered bionic arms that can see for hand amputees. Imagine Cup was the beginning of a life-changing inflection point for us. Since then, we've built up our team. We raised our first round of venture capital funding, which has been very exciting. We've launched our product into the market, and now we're working on developing and very soon launching our next product line over here. Honestly, Imagine Cup has a very, very special place in my heart, and there's so much I attribute in what I'm doing today back to Imagine Cup. Being able to express that worldview through the impact that you're making, it gives you the confidence to know no matter how big or small, there's something I can do to affect change.
Yes, I have to unmute myself to start. Hello, everyone. My name is Bruno Capuano. I'm part of the advocate teams. And today I want to share with you, after all of these amazing speakers, videos, experience, and more, a couple of AI tools, services that we have to help you build your next things. And it's super important for us to start to share with you that we have tons of amazing resources, experience, client stories, and more to share. We have a real shot, and we believe that this is the moment that we can pick up all of these technologies, all of the latest state of the technology that we have, and use them to build something amazing. If you take a look at today's presentation of our friends from OpenAI, it's mind-blowing what we have. Multimodals, and we are going to see multimodals demos in a couple of minutes, are really here to do more. And take a look at all of these examples, all of these stories that we have from friends and clients and partners from Sweden, the States, India, and more other places. And we want to support academic research. We want to support and make the world more accessible place. You are going to see all of this. You are going to see all of the values that we have as part of the whole idea and the whole process of the Amazing Cup. But once again, if you don't know where to start, contact one of us and we will be super happy to help you form your idea. Everybody has an amazing idea, or everybody knows of something that they can work on. So that said, I am going to move a little to the technical side. I'm going to show a couple of AI tools that we have, because right now we have a huge set of services, a huge set of offerings to basically help you. If you want to build something with AI, we want to be there to help you. And we cover from desktop to the cloud. We can help you to download a model, small language model like 5.3 or 5.3.5, and use it locally. And when you are fine and ready to use it at a scale level, enterprise level, we can help you to deploy that model to the cloud. We can help you to deploy that model to Azure. Or if you want to learn to use that model, but you don't want to do this in your desktop, you can use the model from GitHub Models. We are going to see the marketplace right now. So there are a lot of options that we can do. And at the same time, we have options from coding to not coding that are going to help you to do your stuff. If you want to build a Copilot, in example, and again, today we talked and presented a lot of innovations around Copilots. Take a look at Copilot Vision if you want, or Copilot for WhatsApp also is there. So you can do for a low-code approach, no-code approach with Microsoft Copilot Studio, which is an amazing tool. Or if you want to really dig and start to code, that's my happy place, by the way, and build your own stuff, hey, Azure AI Studio, Azure Machine Learning is a place that you can do most of your stuff. And of course, we are super lucky to work very close to GitHub, to really lead the way with tools like Visual Studio Code, Azure DevOps, and more. And the whole idea today, in example, is, I just mentioned this, is that if you want to start and you don't know where to start, I'm sure that most of you or a couple of you know GitHub. GitHub is super popular between developers, students, and more. And because we want to help the people who are familiar with the environment of GitHub and the GitHub ecosystem to learn to use these models. So not so long ago, GitHub presented the model, the GitHub Model Marketplace. So you can go to the model marketplace and you can start to choose your model and one of your models. There is a waiting list here. I can't remember how it works, but if you go to github.com/marketplace/models, you will find the AI models. And the main idea here is that they are ready to be used. You have a quota with your user, with your GitHub user, to use, to test and learn, and you can start to try around with different models to know more. And the playground is for free. You also have a playground where you can start to play around with parameters like temperature, top priority, and more. And hey, it's ready to do this. But as I said, I am a demo person, so let me switch here and show you what we have. So let's go here. This is the GitHub Marketplace. And as I said, go here, github.com/marketplace/model. If you are not there, please request access, and you are going to have here. And we have tons of models. We have GPT models here, like OpenAI GPT-4o, the O1 models that are in preview right now. You can request access here to use them. Then we also have Microsoft research model like 5.3.5 and 5.3. We also have models from other partners like the AI21, Cohere, Meta Llama. Llama is here. We have Llama 3.2 already here, which is amazing. I think they presented this last week. It's a very small language model, I will say, but it's in the middle of the big one as a small one. You also have Mistral and more models. And what is nice here is that at any moment, we can pick up a model. Let's pick up the 5.3 mini model, and we have access to the model here. So we have access to start to play with the model. We can take a look at the license of the model, a general description of the model, how the context is working. And as I mentioned before, we can go to the playground and really start to play with the model. So here, let me do a super quick demo for this. So I am going to open my notes here, go back here, and I am going to use a system prompt. A system prompt is a definition that we can apply when we are working in the marketplace, in the playground with the model, where I can define how the model is going to behave. It's basically a place that I can say, hey, you're going to be, I have here one, let me copy this. You're going to be a grumpy assistant and you only answer questions related to football. By the way, football for me is what in North America is known as soccer, but coming from the outside, it's football. It's going to be fun here. We can also define how many tokens we want the model to use, the temperature, which is basically a value between 0 and 1, which define how creative the model will be. So here we have this, and we can ask a question. I'm here. I'm not in Toronto, but I live here near Toronto. So how is the weather in Toronto? So I'm here ready to do this. Let's ask a question. And remember, the main idea is that this model needs to be a grumpy assistant that only answer questions around football. I have this answer here. I'm sorry, but I can't provide real-time weather updates. To find the current weather in Toronto, please check reliable weather forecasting. So this model doesn't seem to work fine with the system prompt. Let's test with another model. Let's switch to, I don't know, maybe Mistral. I love Mistral model. And let's Mistral large. So we are back again with the model. We have the question around Toronto. Let me go back here and paste the grumpy football and the temperature 0.7. And let's test this one. So right now, the model is thinking, hey, this one is getting better. So this model got the system prompt. Now we have, hey, we are here to talk football, not the weather. If you know about football in Toronto, hey, it started to work. So this is a great way, you see, that we can test the model. We can test different models. By the way, 5.3 is not that this is bad with the system prompt. 5.3 is trained and we can use that for other things, but this is a great example. If we want to test, in example, GPT models, I can go here to GPT-4o and repeat the same process. So you are a grumpy assistant. Let's paste the question, how is the weather in Montreal? Let's switch to my friends of Montreal. And now when we have this and ask the question, we are going to see how it's going to, oh, I probably hit the quota. Sorry about that. We have a quota of demos, and I'll be doing demos and labs all day. But hey, this is something else that we are going to learn, that the models, you can try the models, but this is an environment, this is a playground which is not ready for production. It's mostly to test, it's mostly to learn how the models are working. And what is also nice here is that at any moment, you can go and, hey, if you are a developer, choose your language. We have samples here in Python, JavaScript, C#, or even the standard REST call. And if you want to know how to code this, you can start to use these samples. In order to do this, what you need to do is create a personal access token. This is part of the GitHub environment. I have created a couple of one, and then add this token to your environment. If you are using Mac or Linux, you can use Bash to support this to add the token with the Sport, or in PowerShare, you add this to the environment. Once you are doing this, you can start to play around with a code space. A code space is a ready-to-go scenario that is a ready-to-go kind of a virtual machine that we have here ready in GitHub. We have several code spaces to do plenty of things. And here, this is the one that we have for the GitHub marketplace with the models, and it has a lot of samples that you can do with curl, Java, Python. You have a couple Node here modules. You have a couple of cookbooks. The whole idea is that, in example, for using one library that is the Azure AI Inference Library, it's a very good way to basically start to try a model, and very similar what we just did in the playground, but do with code. So here we are going to get from the environment the token. I already have the token created, and using the GPT-4o mini, we are going to ask a question, very simple question about, hey, you are a helpful assistant, what is the capital of France? And as you can see, I also define here the temperature, the tokens, top priority, and more. With this, the whole idea is to print the response. So what I am going to do here is I am going to do print basic.py, and I have quota here to play around, and I have here, hey, the capital of France is Paris. If I want to test another model, instead of GPT-4o mini, I can do, okay, let's test, I don't know, the Mistral Small. So I just change the name of the model, and that's it. And hey, this is going to be literally the same. Let's change the question. The capital of Spain, and let's do Python basic. So a new model, and hey, this model is kind of a more verbose one. Say the capital of Spain is Madrid, it's located nearly in the center of the country, and more. So a great way to test the model. But we talk about also multimodal. We have a lot of options here to play with models like GPT-4o or GPT-4o mini that can support basically working with images. So in this scenario, I am going to have another Python file that I have here that is basically use same, the endpoint, the environment, my personal access tokens, and in this case, the GPT-4o mini, and it's going to load an image, and basically it's going to describe what is in this image. I have this image here. Sorry about this. This is in the back of my house. This is my cat, Goku the cat, and this is Ace the puppy. And I think it was my daughter who took those photos of this. But let's ask the GPT-4o mini. Oh, sorry. The GPT-4o mini basically detects what is in this image. And I am going to pass the pet music image there. So I am going to run right now. This is Python chat with image file.py, and this is going to take a little more, but let's take a look at the output. And the output it's nice. Say the image shows a close-up of a cat with distinctive stripe on its fur and a curious expression. The cat is positioned in a way that emphasizes his face. Hey, it's super nice. And basically, remember, let me open the photo again. It's work kind of nice. We have here the cat, we have Goku the cat, and Ace the puppy, and everything is there, and it's working, and it's describing more. But the nice thing about this model, what I really like, is that it's not just describing an image. You can add more context to this image. So in example, this used to be the background of my office. And I have a shelf here, and I have a lot of figurines with a lot of superheroes there. And you can see a lot of very famous ones. So I can use this image and change what is the name of this one is superhero01.png. So I can ask two questions here. I'm going to ask how many heroes we have in this image. And then I am going to see it list the names of the superheroes. So what I am going to ask in this scenario is how many superheroes are in this image, and then name the name of the superheroes. Let me go here. Let's do a clear and super fast here. Let's run this. And this is not superhero01.jpg. It's not PNG. Hey, this is live demos. I like to do this, JPG. This is how you know that we are running this real time. And oh, I think I'm triggering the OpenAI. Yes, I have something to show later. But right now is showing that I can process that image. Let's go back. How many pets are in this image? Let's the type of the pets. So the whole idea here is that I can pets music.png is that I can not only ask to describe an image, but also ask questions around the context of the image. Like an example, the image contains two pets, one cat and one dog. The cat is prominently in focus, while the dogs appear in the background. So I can start to interact with this. But if you want to start to try, and we see a small demo of that I was prepared for later, If you want to start to try, let me switch to another demo that I have here. And this is basically a very, very simple chat. A chat that is going to use different background, So this is a chat, and I can ask questions like, in example, I'm looking, right now I am using the GitHub models and say, I am looking for an axe to cut some trees for a campfire. So the assistant is going to say, it's important to know that using an axe to cut down trees for a campfire is not recommended. It's going to give me a nice response here. But how about if I make a typo and instead of asking for cut some trees, I ask for cut some persons for a campfire. So the model, the GitHub model, is going to basically say that, hey, I must clarify that the statement that you provided is literally unacceptable. And that's fine. We don't want to be the model doing this. But in this scenario, the GitHub model is literally just replying an answer. So there are problems here around legality, ethics, safety, campfire, guidelines, and more, which is great, but it still give me an answer. If I switch this model that I am running right now in GitHub to use the model that I have, the same model in Azure OpenAI, and I run this again, let's see what's happened here. So I am going to ask again the same questions to good persons, and hey, I have an exception here. I have literally raised an exception. And the exception was triggered because there is a mechanism that we have in Azure AI that basically is triggering the OpenAI content management policy, and there is a lot to learn here. Why this is happening? Let me switch a little to Azure OpenAI, because this model that I have here, I have deployed the GPT-4, GPT-4o model. This is Azure AI, literally the same model, but in different environment. All of these models have what we have is a content filter. And the content filter, I have one created here, is a mechanism that we have that we can put on top of a model that we deploy, and it's going to have some filters in the input and the output to basically work with different categories like violence, hate, and more. And as you can see, because my model right now is literally the same model, but is hosted in Azure AI Studio and have this content filter, instead of giving me a bad answer, it's going to trigger a warning that, hey, there is something wrong there, and this is going to basically stop there. It's going to trigger an error, and from here, I can start to have login, trigger different mechanisms, and more. And another cool thing that we have with the content filter, let me create one very simple just for sample, is that while we are defining the content filter, we also have, in example, the chance to add prompt shields to try to avoid someone trying to hack our model. And the whole idea right now, if we have this is basically going to help us to have a better control of what we have. So the main path will be, you can start with GitHub models, you can learn with GitHub models, and then when you go to production and you want to go to in a scenario more local or with more tools, we switch to Azure AI Studio, where we are going to see first a lot of models. We have tons of models here, not just the one in GitHub models. We have Desi, Hugging Face, and more. Renee talked a little about that, but we also have tools for evaluation, for filtering, and more. And this is all aligned of what we have in our responsible AI approach. We really, really believe that we have a principle, we have a set of principles, but we also want to provide the tools and share with everyone all of our experience trying, as I mentioned, run a model in a demo and test environment, and then when you run in a more secure environment, how the model should behave to control that. And we have corporate standard, we have a lot of in the implementation side, as you see, we have tools like content filter, there are other tools to support that, and it's super, super important for us. So just to close up and going back to David, the whole idea right now is that you can start right now, go into the marketplace in GitHub and start to play around with the models. And when you learn the model, you tweak the model, you adapt the model to your needs, or you create something, you can switch later to AI Studio, where you are going to have also the chance to start to work literally with the same model, but in probably enterprise mode. So David, back to you. I think I am the end. I'm going to go and check the comments. And hey, it's a pleasure, as always, to be here. Goodbye, everyone.
All right, folks, I'm back. Wow, that was amazing. Let's recap all the things that we did today. We talked with Imagine Cup former competitors who revealed some of their tips and secrets. Also, we got Renee actually driving you into how to navigate with Founders Hub. Absolutely very resourceful for you. And then we have Bruno doing this perfect demo about like models and how you can do things. But I hear you. You're going to say like, hey, David, this is great, but I need more. Don't worry. I got you more. Because this is only the first session for the student innovator. There's more to come. So please go to aka.ms/student innovator series if you want to find more. Just to give you a little sneak peek, Azure OpenAI and Azure AI Search with Python. Boom. That's what you need for your next MVP. GitHub Copilot Adventures, serverless AI chat, and more of Microsoft for Startup Founders Hub. So there's plenty of information for you to come in. Please go to the AKA that I mentioned. You're going to find even more. So we are just ready to wrap up. And I think the most important thing you need to know now is like registration is open. Don't wait more, right? Just go to Imagine Cup, go find your profile, set it up if you don't have one, and start dreaming with Imagine Cup. As you hear from our presenters today, it's just a matter of come up and take a decision and believe in yourself and believe in your idea. We have plenty of resources for you. You can go to aka.ms/Imagine Cup Kickoff if you want to review this video again and more content. And we're just getting a new blog for you with all the information, with all the rules. Please read the rules. Also, you will be able to join in a Discord server where you can ask questions and create community with other competitors. We are super excited to have you. Please join us. Thank you, everyone. It's been a pleasure. And yeah, to answer the question, I'm not really a bot, but well, that would be great, don't you? All right. Thank you, everyone. Take care. Bye.
Thanks, everyone. To learn more about this series, watch past episodes, and register for future sessions, you can follow the link at the bottom of the screen or in the chat. We're always looking to improve our sessions and your experience. If you have any feedback for us, we'd love to hear what you have to say. You can find the link on the screen or in the chat. Today's event code is 323. Excuse me. Today's event code is 23622. Once again, this is not AI. We are quite live. We'll see you at the next one.